Energy transformation in nature. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to explain energy loss in the ecosystem. Define the term primary production. State ways of measuring primary production. State the laws of thermodynamics and its application to ecological phenomena. Energy loss in the ecosystem. The solar energy is converted into chemical energy by plants during photosynthesis. Some are lost to the Earth's surface, while some are stored in plant parts, that is the stem, the leaves, the roots, the fruit, and are not used up. During the transfer of energy through successive trophic levels in an ecosystem, energy is lost at each trophic level. The flow of energy is unidirectional. It enters into the living system from non-living environment. An energy loss as it cannot be utilized. Primary production. Primary production is the production of organic compounds from atmospheric or aquatic carbon dioxide, mainly through the process of photosynthesis. The organisms which are responsible for primary production are known as primary producers or autotrophs, and they form the base of the food chain. The main source of energy in which the primary producer taps its energy from is the sunlight. Primary productivity can be measured in three ways: the amount of carbon dioxide used, the rate of sugar formation, and the rate of oxygen production. Calculation of primary productivity. Primary productivity can be calculated by subtracting the net productivity or the production of plant biomass from the carbon that is lost to respiration. Application of laws of thermodynamics to ecological phenomena. Thermodynamics, the term simply refers to it changes. It is a form of energy. And thermodynamics explain how it can be converted from one form to another. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be converted from one form to another. While the second law of thermodynamics states that energy transformation is not 100% efficient because some are lost in the form of heat energy. You can use the laws of thermodynamics to explain what goes on in food chain, that is, during the transfer of energy from producer to different degrees of consumers. The first law: energy from the sun is converted to chemical energy in producers, green plants, the grass, for an example. Green plants transfer the energy to primary consumers, which transfers it to the secondary consumer, and the sum total of energy remains constant. The second law: during the process of energy transfer along the food chain, part of it is lost in each trophic level as its energy. Based on the food chain illustrated, the food chain illustrated is made up of three energy levels: the grass, the deer, and the lion. The grass taps sunlight energy and manufactures food through a process called photosynthesis, but only 10% of the energy tapped from the sunlight is utilized to produce food in the producer. And the deer feeds on the grass. Only 10% of the available energy in the grass will be transferred to the deer. And when the lion feeds on the deer, only 10% of energy in the deer is transferred to the lion, while the rest percent is given off as heat energy or used up to power various biological reactions that goes on in the body of a living organism. Pyramid of energy. Pyramid of energy shows gradual decrease in the quantity of energy along a food chain. During the process of energy transfer along the food chain, the energy of the producer at the base of the pyramid is higher, and it is transformed gradually from one trophic level to another, and the sum total of energy remains constant. The second law. As energy is transformed from one trophic level to another, part of it is converted to heat and is given off, causing a progressive drop in the energy in successive trophic levels. Based on this diagram, the producers has a total of 10,000 joules of energy, but only 10% can be transferred to the rabbit, and the rabbit can only transfer 10% to the snake, while the snake can also transfer only 10% to the eagle. This occurs because the process of energy transfer from one organism to subsequent organisms along a food chain is not 100% efficient, because part of the energy is given off as heat energy. Energy flow along a food chain. Based on the first law, the producer converts solar energy to useful energy. This energy is progressively transformed from one trophic level to the next along a food chain in one direction. The second law explains that the transfer of energy along a food chain is not 100% efficient, because part of it is given off into the environment as heat energy. Primary producer has the highest amount of energy in the food chain. When herbivore feeds on plants, the energy level is reduced. The producers can only transfer only 10% of its original energy to the herbivore that feeds on it, while the remaining ones have been used up to power various life processes that goes on in the primary producer, and also lost in the form of heat energy. When carnivore consumes the herbivore, the energy level further reduced, because the herbivore utilizes part of the energy for its life processes, and also the energy is lost in the form of heat energy as the herbivore continue to live successfully in its habitat before it is consumed by the carnivore. Thank you.